So I'll be telling you guys three things I don't like about my VC Coupe, which is 407. So now you find these things I mentioned, you find it in other 407. So it's not just 407 Coupe specific. Number one is the AC button. Some of the things I dislike about this 407, generally all 407, including my Coupe, um, you don't have the option to use your blower. Easily accessible to use it without powering the compressor. So it's very, very annoying to me. Almost all my cars, including that of my 1986 and the second 505, I'm talking about my two 505. I don't necessarily have to use the AC, yet my windows will be down. Why? Because all I need to do is to put on the blower and run the vehicle, till the weather, because the interior of the car becomes warm. Sometimes even when it's warm, I will still wouldn't bother. I'll keep running only the blower until it start becoming comfortably hot. Not necessarily hot, but start becoming comfortably warm. That's what I mean. Then I can now power the compressor by just pressing the button for the compressor. Unlike this 407, you don't. All the buttons on the heating and ventilation control panel is just to run your both your blower and your AC compressor at the same time, or your heater and the blower at the same time. So in other words, either you run the heater without the compressor. In that case, you increase the temperature to maybe 20, I don't know, 25 or so. At that time, I think your compressor should be off. I want to believe so. I've never tried or tested to know at that point, if you increase it to that level, whether the compressor will stay on. Does it even get to 25? Probably. So my point is, you have option of heater or cold air. Nothing like you run without AC. So this is one thing I dislike about this car. The only time you can now switch off your compressor if you don't need it, you just need the fresh air that is coming in through the blower, through the AC vent, without AC running. You now have to go into the multifunction display menu, and that can be quite tiring. Yeah, you can switch it up, but man, you have to go into the menu. It's just like all this multifunction, what's it called, Android display, or this touch screen. Not just as Android display, all these modern cars with touch screen from factory. There are some settings, AC setting or ventilation, heating and ventilation system setting that you can't operate via manual button. You have to go into digital settings. You press the menu, it bring you another menu, you press another, you have to park the car for you to now go and start setting. Maybe you change the percentage of air that comes in, or reduces the temperature. So it's basically the same thing. So that's one thing I don't like about phones. Because the display, I don't get it. The center console has enough space to put the AC button, just one button, so that if you don't want the compressor, you power it off. So why would you go and put it? You have to start entering to the radio. You now have to the radio. You start searching for it. You enter the menu, be scrolling from one function to another until you find the AC button to press it off. So next time you need it, you spend minutes or unless. Yeah. So yeah, I find this quite annoying, to be honest, very annoying. Yeah, it's something I have to live with. So, well, that's number one. So, number two is headlights. This car, driving it at night is not encouraging. Even though I'm not talking about the Coupe version specifically, most of them, or at least mine and other ones I know I've driven or seen, they have this xenon headlights. Some are directional, some are not directional. But I mean directional means when your car is in motion and you're turning the steering wheel, it's turning with the headlight. So still, it's not, you hardly see clearly at night with it, or very far. In fact, from my own experience, we are better off with leaving it at dim. Leaving it at dim. I think dim is that first one that it doesn't go far. It just your immediate front, if I'm not mistaken. So when you try to use the beam, it basically scatters the whole thing. You hardly see it that far, that much. So it's good, but sometimes I even wonder whether halogen is better. So that's one thing. In other words, this is not a car to travel with at night, unless maybe the road is mostly you have street lights, and it's not a car. Yeah, driving it in the city with street light everywhere, fine. Maybe it's very dark and there's not much car on the road that will blind you, no problem. But once there are other cars that have more dominant headlights, that you barely will be able to see clear that much, or okay, let's just say that far with yours. So that's one thing I don't like about this. I mean, I've even changed. I recall there was a time I changed the headlights with one that looks almost like new. The same system, xenon. I didn't notice any difference. So it's not about maybe because they started fading or anything. No, doesn't matter how new they are. This automatically set itself, so it's not like maybe I didn't adjust it very well. No, it's automatic. Like I said, it's called directional. Start the car, it goes up and down, moves. Depending how the steering wheel is going. Once you're in motion, it's following the steering wheel. Especially if you're going like this, it will go like the headlights will turn and follow it, which is good, honestly. But my point is, it's supposed to be better. It's supposed to be better than halogen. But 407 just has that weak point when it comes to visibility at night, and we see him very well at night. You just have that problem. It's not only 407, but it's one of the things I just don't enjoy that much about this car. Now the third thing now is something I don't really want to consider it as that I do not like it, but it's something that sometimes I'm like at some point I may not be in the mood to enjoy that thing, but it's always there, and that is that aggressive rumble the engine produces. Trust me, this engine in other Peugeot cars that I have, they don't sound as aggressive as when I'm in behind this steering wheel. This one, I don't know how Peugeot did it. Here, you think it's a different engine from the other two. I'm talking of 607, 406. You guys know I have those cars. So, but here it makes, like I said, I don't know what they did. And so there are times when you are maybe not necessarily in the mood for aggressive drive, or maybe you are kind of occupied on something else that you are driving. I'm talking of the mind, or not necessarily occupied, but but man, once you start pressing the throttle a little bit hard, that I don't know how to explain it. It becomes very dominant. Everything inside the car, you can't bet. Even unless you have to increase, if your radio is playing or playing a song, You have to increase it much louder, otherwise it dominates everywhere. So my point is, compared to like 607, you barely will hear anything. You barely will hear anything except when the RPM is or the tachometer, yeah, RPM is almost getting close to the red line. That's when you can hear the grumble of the engine or the gearbox screaming a little. Does the gearbox start screaming? Yeah, I think it does a little. You know, that's what I'm saying when you are out for fun. But this one, you don't need to be for fun. Just press the thought a little bit and it's fun. Don't get me wrong. It's actually fun to listen to. But like I say, it's not every time that you just want to get to the you want to be like in a peaceful mood that you keep gearing you, man. No, this guy is for action. If you're not action, get away from the way. So sometimes you'll be like, this is not what I need right now. But whether I like it or not, it's there. Otherwise, get away from the car. Well, I will say I have my Z9 for that, which is my 607. If I want that quick acceleration, smooth ride, quick. Well, I mean, if I want aggressive drive, it's there. If I want that luxurious drive, you will barely hear anything. Yeah, the car will be speeding like hell. So it's actually a luxury vehicle, no matter how you want to look at it. You could say, oh, they are better made luxury car than 607. Yeah, I will agree with that. But man, when you see this that car without the way the car moves and you barely hear anything, nothing, everything insulated to the point that you will hear even the wind noise. That's how good 607 is. But this one, no. This is an aggressive made car. You could call it, normally like sports car, how they are made. They are not meant to be comfortable. Actually, in a sports car, they are not meant to be comfortable. They are meant for sports. Sports is not for relaxation, So that's how this car is made. I'm not calling it a sports car, but that's the design. What the designers or people that designed the vehicle had in mind, and they actually did a good job in that. So it's there. So for those who probably don't like all those kind of aggressive sound or sporty sound, don't get me wrong. The exhaust doesn't make all those loud sound people modify in their car. No, it doesn't. I'm talking of the engine. I don't know whether about the exhaust. Maybe this exhaust, the way it produces sound in this car is something else. Okay, so those are the three things I just wanted to share with you guys that sometimes, depending on which one, that can be quite annoying, The last one I mentioned, no, that one is not always like it annoys me. It doesn't actually annoy me, just as sometimes I don't really need this now. But you see those first two, then they can, So that is it. Other than that, I don't have much. There could be more, but these are like the first three that comes to mind. I want to kind of point out for those who might be considering a 407 Coupe or maybe 407 in general. Okay, so like the video. Maybe you have a different opinion or disagree with me or agree with me. Maybe put it in the comment section. Let's hear it or read it and hear you out as well. So like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.